The subject of water management is a prime aspect in this crucial time when the world is battling with water crisis. The country of Israel has emerged out to be a hero from being a water-scarce country in the past to the best water-managed country today by creating an efficient infrastructure of water supply and water conservation. Ms. Anupama Madhok, Director and Editor, Water Digest, interacted with Mr. Uri Schor, Spokesman Water Authority Israel, on the subject of water management and its importance.
Hello everyone, we are happy to have with us Mr. Uri Schor, the spokesman of Israeli Water Authority with us. So sir, welcome to India First.
Thank you very much.
We are happy to have you here.
I'm happy to be here. Beautiful country.
Yeah, and when it comes to Israel, first thing everyone talks about, of course, the kind of water management been done in Israel. So coming from water-scarce countries of the world, and then today the experts in the water segment having the new technologies and they've managed their water the best way. So how do you see the transformation from water-scarce to today the best managed country in terms of water sector? And what are the learnings which we can bring to India and maybe learn from the proficiencies of Israel?
Well, I can speak about the Israeli experience. What we really did is closing the gap between the quantities of natural water that we get and the demand for water that is larger, much more than that. And this gap between the demand and the supply is getting bigger and bigger every year. The climate changes affects all the world. Some more, some less. It affects India, it affects very strongly in Israel. In Israel, by today, more than half of the quantities of water that is supplied to all users in Israel are man-made water, more than half. Therefore, we used many solutions. Some of the solutions must reduce the use of water. We do that with technologies by fixing leakages, preventing leakages, etc. And of course, explanation campaigns and education, and increasing the supply of water by artificial water, if it's recycling sewage, if it's desalination, and many other technologies as well.
Great. You just mentioned that right from the technology front to even educating people, having their role and public awareness for the same things. Can you shed some light on some of the water campaigns which have been done in Israel and have been really successful, and somewhere we can also learn and do such kind of advocacy here in India?
Well, we have an agreement between the government of Israel and the government of India. That was signed between Modi and Mr. Netanyahu, and we are helping up as much as we can, of course, and we are learning a lot what's going on here in India with a campaign. A campaign should be a long-lasting campaign. It's not just something that you bring up and that's it. And the campaign must motivate also for action, not only create an understanding the problem that is increasing every year, but also what can each one of us do in order to try to give our maximum efforts.
Right. So I'm sure you're aware about this Jal Shakti Abhiyan in India. That's under Jal Shakti Ministry. They launched it at the national level, wherein everyone is being involved in more of publicity and how they can collaborate on various with their small inputs and can work towards conserving water.
I heard about that, and it's a wonderful thing. I'm sure we can learn a lot about that as well. Creating the Jal Shakti was a very good move. I believe that it will help India a lot. We'll be there to help wherever we can.
I would like to say that India and Israel, this partnership is not like we formed it just now. It's been years that we've been together, and this partnership had of course been beneficial to both the countries. So what is your take on this partnership specific to water sector?
I hope that India is receiving from this partnership at least as much as we do. I think it's a very good partnership. I think both sides can learn a lot from each other and gain a lot from each other. We have a lot of experience, knowledge, technologies based on our experience from the Israeli water crisis. We are willing and we are sharing as much as we can. And as such, we are learning as well.
How do you see public as such, as an individual, being part of the governance, and how important it is to be part of the water resource management?
I think it's very important, but it should go down and drill down to each and every civilian. I think everybody should really cope and understand the majority of the problem. This problem of shortage of water is not going away. It can only be worse. Therefore, it should be a joint effort from top to bottom, and all of us should do the maximum in order to win it, and it is possible.
Right. Okay, I would also like to ask you one thing, is there some specific project which Israel has thought of when it comes to connecting the water industry in India? So any specific project in mind which we feel that, under this partnership, we can start up and see the implementation, which is at the conceptualizing stage or so? Some specific project? It's
very difficult to go to specifics because the needs and the abilities and the technologies are so large, so big. You have technologies that are needed for quality of water. You have technologies that detect leakages even from outer space through satellites, etc. You have many technologies, many ways of doing, and you can't just specify and say that's before that. You should do everything, and you should learn everything, and we should learn everything. It's never enough. It's never enough. We should be always one drop ahead.
While I was going through your details and about your profile and all, I see that you have worked a lot for the media line, and you understand the media advocacy more than anybody else, I guess. So what is your take, as I mentioned about the Jal Shakti Abhiyan, how important it is to do the media advocacy in the right direction, so that, how do you see, what's the importance of media advocacy as such in the water segment specifically, seeing the crisis prevailing everywhere across the world when it comes to the water sector?
Well, the media has a major role in that things, because as I said again, one must explain and understand the reasons for the problem, and the reasons for the problem really is the climate change. And in order to understand that, the media is the main mass way to pass up the words, and also to understand that it's not enough only to understand the problem, one must also motivate for action. And the media has really a major part in that role. If you want help, then we all will have a very severe problem. In Israel, we recruited the media in all ways, from the news point of view till even the entertaining programs. The media should recruit all out.
Right.
It's a part of the thing.
Great. We also look forward to contributing in the best possible way we can. And before we move towards the end of this interview, I would like to ask that we are happy to have you here, as I said, but what exactly you are looking at when you have this visit planned for India? What is expected out of this visit once you're back to Israel?
Well, I'll just now say another sentence for the last thing. I think really the base for a change is the acceptance or the understanding of the public. And that's also a part of the media. People must understand and accept the problem and the ways to overcome it. I'm here this visit mainly to promote a very big conference, worldwide conference and exhibition that we have in Israel, the WATIC. Over there we will show and represent many new technologies, very advanced, that can save, and on one hand water, on the second hand they clean, and they talk about the quality of water. Many technologies that can really help and to advance both of our countries.
Great. So any specific message? I'm sure a lot of industry players would be happy visiting, not only industry players, but the experts will be happy visiting for Robotics show, which is scheduled in November, I guess. So we wish all the success to the show, and any specific message you would like to give to our readers and the viewers of WD News, please.
The problem of shortage of water is well known. From the Israeli experience, I can say that one can beat it. But it's only, it's not something that you should do once and that's it. Israel is fighting the drought years and the climate change every day, every month. Every year we get less and less rainfall, and the gap between the quantities of natural water that we receive and the demand for water that is increasing every year is growing. Therefore, this war against the shortage of water is something that we should continue from now onwards, I believe.